Now this program has a rich history, and my swimming experience was all about my teammates and me fighting for our own piece of swimming history here. I joined the Iowa swim team at a very exciting time in our program's history. On my recruiting trip, the coaches drove us past this old rusty beat-up building and said, "That's where the new pool's going to be." And I was hoping then that would be true. But the coaching staff was young and energized, and the team was looking up in many ways and were optimistic about the future. And that got me excited. Now my class and the class above me were determined to make an impact on the team. We called ourselves Scrappy. We were mostly local talent. Like almost every person was from a state, either Iowa or a state that touched Iowa, or Michigan. We lived, like Danielle said, we lived in a racquetball court and weight room, and we trained and competed in the field house pool. Now my favorite piece of the field house pool was on the far wall opposite the starting end was this old record board. And I remember doing kick sets in the short end of that pool, just reading and memorizing that board. There were pool records from some of the fastest sprinters and most famous Olympians on that board. There were Big Ten records, but what stood out most was the middle section, and that was our school records. I hope most people in this room have seen that record board, but let me describe it for you if you haven't. It's huge, old and rusty. The letters are discolored with age from sitting in a hot, humid auditorium with no ventilation for decades. Most of the records when I arrived were from the 80s and 90s. There were NCAA champions and Big Ten champions on there, and all but one were All-Americans. I can tell you the names of everyone that was on there, even the relays, and I can even pronounce the Polish ones. The great thing about that board was that it gave us pride, and we were proud to be affiliated with such an impressive line of great swimmers. The terrible thing about that board is that at that time, we felt overshadowed by it. It was hanging there every day, every practice, every meet, a constant reminder of how little impact we as athletes at that time were making on our school's history. So we set out to make history. My freshman year, we were determined to make an impact on our conference. I feel sorry for the 2000, we're going to go back a little bit. I feel sorry for the 2008 Wisconsin swimming team. That year they walked into our pool, our house, expecting to beat us in a dual meet for something like the 15th year in a row. We jumped them. We pulled together a level of emotion and drive that I have never experienced before as an athlete. The meet started with the medley relay, which we won, but in many ways, it was all over with that medley relay. We somehow carried the momentum of that single race throughout that entire meet, and I believe for that entire season. Our first big win of that year over Wisconsin led us to finish with an 8-1 dual meet record with some of the most exciting dual meets I've had in my time in Iowa, and I'll never forget a single one. The next year we continued the same scrappy excitement in the Fieldhouse pool with a 10-1 record. We even managed to get some new names on that old record board. If I were to describe how we as a team felt about our success those 2 years, I would say this. We were proud of our inevitable underdog status, but frustrated at never being recognized for what we perceived as groundbreaking improvement. We did manage to get under the skin of many of our opponents, but other than that, people seemed to not respect us enough. We were determined to gain more respect. Now, at the beginning of my junior year, we were finally in the new pool, a great, big, beautiful pool with all the things we'd ever wanted, and we could finally look back at the field house that we had in many ways cherished at the time. Thank God, I'm glad I'm out of there. But it wasn't just a pool. I'm sorry to say that I think we began gaining more respect once we had a new home, but it wasn't just the pool. We were improving so much. Every stroke, every event, and almost every member of our team was getting better, improving and becoming more confident in the pool and in racing. That year, I can honestly say every team we dueled showed us honest respect, which continued throughout the rest of my career here. Now, did we make history? I think so. I think we did, but we all make history. I mean, not all of it belongs on a record board or in media guides. I mean, I've seen some impressive feats in my time here, and some things come to mind. I'll never forget Zane Hugo's 100-meter underwater at City Park Pool. I don't know how to do it. Ryan Trumbull, how can we forget Ryan Trumbull's 5-second 25, which Kari alluded to earlier. This may have been assisted by 4 stretch cords. mean, everyone I swam with was always impressed with Joshua Schubert's frugality. In 2009, Max Dimmer ate a dozen Krispy Kremes on the bus ride home. We all went today, Kyle Elger's amazing, brave diving skills. And I've heard that Brian B. Farfaris, back in 2007, became a hero in 1/100th of a second in a duel meet against Michigan State. Then there's the day-to-day history that we have. There's clapping along with meet lineups, Friday breakfast at Hillcrest after practice, Misty's on Monday. Some of you are too young. And my favorite, the fight song in the diving well after victories. Dual meet records and school records, All-Americans, Big Ten champions, those are all important history too. And they'll belong on a media guide or up on a wall somewhere. But it's the story, it's the team, it's what the team went through in my time, the path we took. That's what I'll remember. That's what we all remember. So one last little story, and it's kind of a selfish one. But I think it's important in my class. Our freshman year, there were 3 of us on the 400 freestyle relay that took 5th at Big Tens. We were standing up on the award stand, and the coach of the champion team in that relay came up to shake our hands, and they saw our warm-ups, and they said, Iowa? Like, it was a surprise. And I know he meant good things by it, but it drove us and it motivated us for our future. My senior year, we beat that team's 400 freestyle relay for the Big Ten championship. Our mission was accomplished. I'm very proud to have been a part of it. And it was a very exciting 4 years. And I'd just like to say thanks to everyone that was a part of it. You all know who you are, and maybe you don't know who you are, but you all have something